page, InfoWarsStore.com, that has the full spectrum of high-quality food. Powered by My Patriot Supply, that's already, we sell their full catalog, highest level discounts. It is the best deal out there. Well, InfoWars Select allows us to go even lower in price. It's the exact same food. And the 20% off Deep Cleanse ends today. Okay, I'm going to stop right there. Neil in Pennsylvania, thank you for calling. You're on the air.
Hey, Alex, how's it going?
Thank you for calling, brother. Good.
Hey, so long story short, yesterday I get home, eat some dinner, I get a call. It comes up in the caller ID political survey. So like, let's here, you answer this, because she knows I enjoy, doing this when I get the calls. And it asked me 4 questions. The first question was, are you happy with Obama's jobs program? And it was 1 for yes, 2 for no. So I clicked no. Second question was if we're happy with Governor Wolf. And 1 for yes, 2 for no. Third question, are you, hold on, I'm a little nervous here. Lost my breath. Third question was, do you have a favorable opinion or an unfavorable opinion of Hillary Clinton? And it was 1 for no, 2 for yes. So they switched those up. Like I almost hit 2 to say.
Sure, it's designed to have old people get confused, yeah.
Alex, the best part of it is the fourth question was, do you have a favorable or unfavorable opinion of Donald Trump? And it was 1 for yes, 2 for no. They flipped it right back like it was in the first 2 questions. I clicked 1. It gave me an error message that said invalid entry. And it hung up on me, and I had a fast, busy signal.
Yeah, let me stop you right there. Look, it's like a caller earlier. I'm going to hold you over. I'm going to go a little bit in the next hour with Paul, because I want to go to Walter and Todd and Chris and Johnny. But Paul will ride shotgun with us. And I want to give you some inside Trump baseball that I got 3 days ago that I haven't covered yet. In fact, it's on my notes from Sunday's stack that I put in yesterday's stack. If I can find that. It's a whole back page with my writing on it. I need my notes. I've got to cover this. Stay with us, 4th hour coming up. But yes, look, they admit they screw these polls over. If I want to know the people that love freedom and are involved, I don't want to just know somebody because they're good looking and can read off a script. And I know that's an obvious statement, but, man, you ought to see politicians, world leaders grovel to celebrities. And it's because there's really nothing inside of them. They hope they're going to find enlightenment by being with somebody else, and you're not going to find it in this modern culture. I want to go to Neil and Todd and others here in a moment. Paul Watts is coming up from London, England, with tons of news, obviously. But the caller, Neil, I'm going to go back to him, if you just joined us, was saying they wouldn't let me basically vote for Donald Trump in the poll. There's hundreds of ways they run this scam. Hillary's the worst. They admit they're doing it. It's like a lady earlier saying they're controlling search engine results where you can't find out about Hillary's corruption. They admit they're doing that. That's what's crazy. And people just can't believe it. Yes, they admit it and take polls. It's to create the perception that Trump's losing. Their internal polling, and I'll talk about this after I take calls, is that he's dead even or 10 points ahead, 7 points ahead in others, but people are scared to say it in any type of polling where they actually twist the poll to say, are you upset about Trump's racism, or are you concerned about these statements or those statements? And then they ask, will you support Trump? So there's all sorts of things they're doing. There's push polls. There's polls where you call up with a bunch of fake, horrible things somebody did to demonize them. It's not even about a poll. But bottom line, with this poll, they're running a poll where it's programmed into the phone where a certain number of phone calls, it doesn't let you vote for Trump. A lot of the phone calls do get to vote. And then it creates the perception that, oh, see, we have a new poll out showing Hillary's 10 points ahead, say, in Pennsylvania, where Trump in most polls has actually been ahead. So that's how they operate. And she's arrogant enough to, steal states where he's super popular like Georgia or New York. I mean, there's no end to it. But Neil, it's important for you and everybody out there to just keep an iPhone or a smartphone or whatever near you, or a cheap video camera, and just when you get these calls, put it on speaker, videotape it, because you never know what you're going to catch. Because it's one thing for you to tell us this. We all probably know it's true. We need to get this on video because that could really illustrate for things. Neil?
Absolutely. And you know what? I actually Google searched the company name. It's a GMI survey company. Like, I don't know who owns it or anything, but I Google searched it. It came up because they actually said that over the survey.
Well, let me ask you this question. Who are they mainly pollsters for? Are they Democrat or Republican or both?
Well, that's what I was going to say is I'm actually a registered Democrat. So that's why I get these calls, usually for the Democratic, politicians in my local area and in Pennsylvania. And, things like this actually just help open my eyes up and say, you know what? It's rigged. It actually just, as a registered Democrat, it's pushing me more towards Trump. And right now, as a Democrat, I'm actually probably going to vote for Trump, because two reasons. I'm a small business owner. My son goes to college. He works part-time. He made $9,800 last year and still had to pay $60 in federal income tax.
Total bull. And then there's all the FICA and Social Security and then all the cell phone taxes. There are hundreds of so-called federal taxes. Most of them are totally unconstitutional. Thank you, Neil. Yeah, I don't know why a lot of Democrats aren't voting for Trump. I mean, quite frankly, in a lot of his history and activities, he's kind of a liberal populist on many issues. I just don't think he has it out for the country. And that's why the globalists, for real, are so angry at him. I'm going to come back and take a few more calls quickly. And then I'm going to give you some inside baseball on Trump and then transition to my redcoat friend, Ward Watson. Let's go to your phone calls right now and to Paul Watson. So alone. So alone. So alone. So alone. Talking about L.A., lonely, empty, alone. No thank you. Sell my soul for that? Ah! What a fraud. Todd in Michigan, you're on the air worldwide. Go ahead.
Hello, Alex, and I want to thank you for everything you do on InfoWars. I just was awakened a month or so ago to your program, and it was because of Mr. Watson there.
He is a prolific individual, and he's coming in hot here in just a moment.
Yes, thank you for importing him into the U.S.
Well, we're trying to. Go ahead.
I just wanted to make a comment about what Dr. Pachenik said and the congressman said. Forget the politicians, forget the Republicans, forget the Democrats. Just get out there and do what we're supposed to do as American citizens, and we will win. We can't put all of our faith in Trump, like Dr. Pachenik said. He's kind of making people think he's going over to the dark side now. And what the congressman said, we got to stick to those 3 rules, and we can work it out. And what you do, I'm a first-time caller. I'm kind of excited. But I just think, like my mom, I'm a 55-year-old man. I stay home, take care of my 76-year-old dad. And I talk to my mom all the time just to kill time. And she hates Trump. She hates Hillary worse, but she does not trust Trump, not for a minute. So, we can't keep going in this big circle. I was a big Fox News fan until, all this.
No, I hear you. I absolutely hear you. And in a few minutes, I'm going to speak to this on Trump. But I absolutely get your point. We've got to trust ourselves, trust God, take action, change our own personal lives, reach out to others, and the world will change. And then the manifestation of that will be populist movements like Nigel Farage and UKIP and Trump and others. God bless you. I appreciate your call, Todd. I want to go to Walter in New York and Chris and Johnny and others. And I'll probably leave those callers for Paul Watson if he chooses to take them. I don't mean to dismiss your calls or be rude about them, but I've got to hand the baton to Watson here in just a moment. He's waiting in the wings. But let me go ahead and just give you some of the inside baseball Trump news. Let me go ahead and just break down some of the things happening in Trump land. Donald Trump has gotten a bunch of establishment Republicans into his campaign that have some pretty good backgrounds working for Reagan and others, and some libertarian stripes as well, like his pollsters and others. So it's not all bad signs there, because that's who knows how the party system works. That's the people that know how to stop them trying to steal the nomination still in Cleveland. That's the folks that know the obscure arcania. It's beyond parliamentary. The obscure arcania, archaic systems that have been all twisted and changed with super delegates and all the rest of it. So I never expected Trump charging into a goblin's nest to not get some goblin vomit and slop and blood on him. I just don't want to catch him in bed with a goblin. But if he's in there rolling around hacking him up and he's got a goblin guide, taking him into the cave, I'm not expecting him to not get dirty, especially up to his ankles. I don't want to see him kissing goblins, having political succubus with goblins. I don't want to see him ingratiating goblins. And so what do we expect him to do? He runs for office for the first time ever, gets the nomination presumptively without spending outside money, and spends $40+ million of his own, and loses hundreds of millions of TV shows and contract deals and beauty pageant deals and hotel deals. I mean, he has paid a big price. And the guy says he's got $10 billion. That's hotels and assets. The big secret is Donald Trump probably might be able to get a hold of $1 billion cash. And that's not from Stone. I just bounce stuff off Stone from other sources in my own research, and he basically tells me if I'm accurate or if I'm not. But I don't think anyone knows exactly how much Trump has, but you've seen the media even claim he's not as rich as he says he is. Well, there's different ways to look at things. They can say my InfoWars company's worth, $50 million. Oh, really? It'd go downhill in a month if I wasn't here. It's actually a deficit. But they've got all these Dun & Bradstreet things saying I'm worth $50 million. I mean, it's like, if I had some painting somebody hypothetically valued at $10 million, but I can't sell it for that, it's not worth that. I bought the painting at a 5 and dime. It's worth $5. I don't really have a painting that's supposedly worth anything. It's an analogy. So here's what I'm trying to get at, and then I'm going to go to Watson. Maybe I should shoot a special report on this. I kind of get tired towards the end of the show, and I don't want to butcher this. I've got a whole page of notes here from different sources, but this has to be done very, very delicately, to quote the Wicked Witch of the West. You want Trump to be this populist. You want him to go in there and defeat him without any establishment money. He does something no one's ever done. Now he's standing there in a fight. He's gone to the next level of the gladiatorial battle, the ultimate level, and Hillary has got a machine gun fully loaded and a battle axe, and Donald Trump doesn't have any of that. He doesn't have any political funding. He doesn't have the infrastructure. He doesn't have anything to get into the party machine, because the party machine won't support him because they know he isn't going along with them. They know he really is a populist. They'd be supporting him in a minute over Hillary if he was a shill. And that's really my best dead reckoning on it. Is Trump kind of an egomaniac? Does the guy think he's, the best thing since sliced bread? Yeah, but any successful person kind of has that view. They're scared of him for a reason, though. And internally in his campaign, they're trying to get him to actually set up super PACs and do all this stuff and actually take big people's money. But when the big guys come, like Adelson, and here's the big news, and offer him $100 million to take Newt Gingrich and then $200 million, and he says no, Adelson's not giving him anything now. And it's the same. None of the big donors, none of the big establishment guys are giving him anything, folks, because they know he won't do what they say, and he tells them, I'll take your money, but no strings attached. And so I'm sitting here going, why don't you reach out to kind of mid-tier donors and say, listen, if you really want to change this, give. So that's what it comes down to. And I'll tell Trump this. What do casinos and golden palaces mean? You know they're empty. You just put up casinos and golden palaces because you know the public resonates to something shiny, like a fish going up at 10,000 feet in the Marianas Trench to a angler fish. The shininess just brings them in. I don't think you're really that empty. You certainly don't care how you look, which is a good sign that you are beyond the things of childhood. Now becomes a message to Trump. So you're all into this thing. Your name, everything will be completely tainted, destroyed. If they claim you were a huckster before, which I don't think you were a salesman, you will become that huckster forever if you fail. And they will come after you and never rehabilitate you if you don't go all in. So you know that, I know that, you're fully committed. You need to just go ahead and take everything you have. I mean, you're out there with people wanting to kill you, ready to die. I totally admire that. So you're committed, trying to save the republic. You're trying to step into George Washington's shoes here, bro, at a critical juncture. They say history and circumstance makes the man.